And I am pleased to welcome to the 2025 edition of Statehouse Conversations, Senator Scott Alexander, a Republican from Eaton, Indiana, which for those geographically challenged is about 10 miles, you say, north
about
of
10
Muncie?
miles north of Muncie.
Suburban Muncie, we'll say, representing District 26. And I should say by way of introduction, you're also a real estate appraiser, which either makes you the most loved or hated person in the state of Indiana right now, vis-a-vis the state's assessments at property tax. You're sort of know that you know that debate intimately. Let's start there and talk about
real estate appraisers. I would say maybe are more loved than assessors. So.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's like a journalist. There's always somebody lower on the list than I am. So let's start there. I mean, that's where do you see that debate unfolding? And then I'd like to talk about some of the bills that you're authoring, if we could.
As for the property tax debate. Yeah. I know there have been lots of property tax bills introduced, and all the way from eliminating property taxes to just some band-aids and fixes going forward. I'm in favor of finding some solutions in property tax reform in some way, and I've actually filed a bill on our side that would reduce the size of local government, make that assessment much more streamlined and easy to do.
Because it is local government that benefits from property tax. A lot of people.
That's right.
I mean, the state government's deciding about it, but the bounty actually flows to locals.
Well, we kind of take the blame for it sometimes, and maybe unjustly so. But because we aren't spending that money, it's the local government and schools.
You'd like to actually at some point. I don't want to get ahead of the game, but do away with it, right? I mean, that's and again, I'm not talking over the next 4 months, but that's a goal. And these are interim steps.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to truly fix property taxes is the elimination of the property tax, and we would have to find that funding, reliable funding source from somewhere else. I know sales tax on services has been the one that's been thrown around a little bit of time. In my personal opinion, I would trade that every day for property taxes, but they're so complex. Nobody really understands the process. It's such a cumbersome process to deliver that tax bill every year, and very costly.
Well, real estate appraisers know. Somebody knows how to do it. But everybody else, the mere mortals, the rest of us wouldn't know how. I know you have some other bills that are near and dear to your heart. You want to walk us through a few of those?
I've got Senate Bill 151, which is eliminating the statute of limitations that we filed in the Senate side last year, got through the Senate and got all the votes on there. There were 0 people against it. The House had a problem with hearing the bill, removing the statute of limitations completely. We went through summer study with that one and came up with 2 versions. So we've got Senate Bill 151 came back again as Senate Bill 151 this year, and then Senate Bill 233, which lessens the restriction on that statute of limitations to from 31 years to 51 years. So it gives those victims a little bit more of a place to stand, but not a complete elimination of the statute of limitations. And then triples for level 3, it would triple the time that they would have to file those cases. So.
Okay, well, we're on a roll here. Let's talk about a few of the others, if I could.
Okay, well, we had a good hearing, and unemployment compensation was Senate Bill 123. Had a very good hearing just yesterday, I believe, on Senate Bill 123, which, by the way, is Senate Bill 123. So easy as 123, you would think, maybe.
You had to pay extra to get that as part of your branding message. That's how much does Rod Bray get for that?
I don't know. That one just the luck of the numbers, I guess, but. Good hearing. I think
if you don't say that when you go to the floor for Second Amendments, I'm going to be disappointed in you.
Well, I may do that. I did do it in committee.
All right. Well, then it's proof of performance then.
Yeah. So I think there'll be some changes. There was some good testimony from different groups. Some for it just the way it was, and some against it with some good, compelling reasons why. So I think we will make some changes and bring that back next week. The student well-being, Senate Bill 359, student well-being and resiliency, that's a bill that's going to be in education. Hopefully we'll get a hearing on that here in the next week or two on that.
And that's interesting. That's about taking people giving them opportunities to succeed in sort of small steps at a time, right? Students who might be struggling otherwise. Is that a simple way to boil it down?
Yeah, and again, I think that's something that comes from summer study. We were really focused on truancy and absenteeism, and one of the things that would help students do is if they're having a problem with that, they can be put in the program. A third-party vendor would take that. It's a one-on-one, but it's a video with a third-party vendor that would basically help that student to achieve goals, and then hopefully the idea is to be able to do that for themselves from that point on, in not only just absenteeism and truancy, but getting better grades and becoming more interested in an education. So hopefully that would ultimately improve performance
Arm
as
young
well.
people with some successes, a taste of success, and maybe they'll want more.
There you go. Yep.
Any others before I let you get back to the people's business?
I think that's about all I've got on the list right now to talk about. But yeah, I think property
process
taxes.
You never know tomorrow. There may be something that comes down like a freight train down the tracks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be focused on property taxes, Medicaid, the 2-year budget. Those things will be, and there's a lot of ideas that are out there from the state legislature to different directions that I don't know how many bills are filed yet. We'll get a number on that sooner or later.
Over 1,000, we know that.
Yes,
right? That's a safe. I'll close with this. We have become accustomed, and dollars have been plentiful for any number of reasons. Federal dollars have been flowing in, and so the past few years, people doing the budget have been able to, at the end of the session, say historic increases for education, historic, infusion of money for public health. The way and I know we won't know until the update forecast for revenue update in mid-April, but is this the year that holding steady is going to be the new historic?
I think for this next 2-year budget, that will probably be the case. I think we've all kind of, if your bill has a fiscal to it that's going to cost more money for the state out of the general fund, then you're probably not going to get a hearing on that or not get very far with it. Certainly not get it past appropriations. So. Very mindful of the legislation that was filed this year, that was going to be the case. So hopefully we'll have a lot of relevant things to talk about that won't meet that threshold. And
I think it's a safe bet we will. I mean, you've brought up several here, and I appreciate that. Senator Scott Alexander, Republican from Eaton, suburban Muncie, District 26. I thank you for taking time to chat about this session and your goals for it, and I applaud your commitment to Indiana and public service. A lot of people complain that there ought to be a law. Some people, 150 of you, are actually willing to come here and try to make them.
That's
so
right.
That's right.
Thank you.